heat in the UK represents about half of our energy use and about a third of our greenhouse gas. So in 2013, the government set out a heat strategy, so a strategy to work out how to decarbonise heat. And in that, identified a key role for heat networks as a route to cost-effective carbon abatement. So as part of the commitments in the heat strategy to try and deploy more heat networks, the government set out to establish the Heat Network Delivery Unit, of which I'm part. So this identifies the critical role for municipalities, so we call them local authorities in the UK. Their role as coordinator, customer, supplier, and sometimes financier of these heat networks. But it understood that they face capability and capacity challenges. So the unit, the HNDU, is set to run to March next year. So it supports municipalities as they're exploring opportunities for heat networks, and it provides grant funding for these studies as well as guidance. Heat is actually a devolved matter in the UK, so our unit only supports local authorities in England and Wales. But we support them through these initial development stages. So as the local authorities are initially looking area-wide through heat mapping, when they're looking at current and future heat demand and heat sources, and then prioritising opportunities through master planning through a light touch techno-economic analysis that will also incorporate the objectives of the local authority. For example, if they were seeking to undertake a heat network to address fuel poverty or to reduce carbon emissions. The next two stages are where they've picked off a particular heat network opportunity, and they're looking in increasing detail at the technical, financial, and contractual matters. And really, each of these stages is a gate to decide whether there is a heat network opportunity to take forward. So something that was quite unusual about the unit was that the staff of the unit were not previously civil servants, so they are actually experts in heat networks. They've either worked in consultancies or delivered or commissioned these networks previously. And each of the 115 local authorities or municipalities that we're working with are allocated a project lead from our team who acts as their critical friend. And we're working with about 180 projects in our portfolio. And the role of the project leads are to provide sort of points for consideration to the local authority as they draw up tender specifications, review tender responses from consultants, and look at draft and then final reports. So overall, we're seeking to upskill these local authority officers and embed the learning in the municipalities. At the end of our support, the local authority should be able to put forward internally a business case to say if they want to take forward the heat network and what commercial structure. Earlier this year, the government set out a network energy investment report, and there is a whole chapter in there on heat networks, really for the first time, sitting alongside the gas and electricity networks. And we estimated that if 50% of the projects in our portfolio actually come to fruition, that will represent an £800 million CapEx investment opportunity over the next few years.